maybe, in Africa, you don't nurture talent, okay? You don't help people who don't have that avenue to help people develop their talents. If not, I would have maybe been forced into a film school in Nigeria. You understand?
Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started into this episode.
In another country, you would get a kid like that and have them do theater arts or something like that, But then it was something that I had as a kid, but then it kind of was there in high school, I remember being in the dramatic, society, okay? So we had dramas, you understand? And I acted, that was maybe helping my acting ability, but that was it, So I didn't really get into writing scripts again, film stories again until I got started here in Rome. Because I remember as a kid, since one of my brothers was, reading, was an accountant, and one was into architecture and the other one estate management, So there was this thing in the family that you needed a doctor or somebody, like, you understand? So I had the choice of, either going with the arts or going into the sciences. And I stupidly chose the sciences, because of course I didn't make it, you understand? I couldn't get admitted as a doctor or whatever. In fact, like I told you, the only chance I had was to read sociology, and which I didn't want to do anyway. And, so we should have situations where you can discover talents and help them grow, encourage them to grow, You can have 5 very good, technicians out of them, but then they would leave, manpower development, okay? And they would rather spend money on some stupid, like in Nigeria, can you believe that the government spends billions of naira every year to help pilgrims? I'm a Catholic. I'm a practicing Catholic, but I think it's very stupid to give anybody money to come to Rome to see the Vatican. And it's the most stupid thing you can think of. Or people, Muslims being sent to Medina and Mecca on pilgrimages, or, Christians being sent to Jerusalem. I mean, it's, I'm like, Rome is a city, just like Lagos, just like, you understand? And you have sinners everywhere. And, the buildings don't, you don't have God in those buildings or those cities or those, or those churches. You have God everywhere. You understand? God is everywhere, even in the most remote areas of Nigeria. So you don't have to travel to Jerusalem to see Christ or to experience Christ. You don't have to come to Rome to experience Christ, or go to Mecca to experience Muhammad, or, And they spend millions of dollars doing that. And this is, you could spend $1 million a year to encourage musicians. You train kids to play instruments. You train kids to sing. You train kids to, be sound engineers, all of that. You can do that with $1 million a year. You could just train, you have programs like they have in England where you look for young talents and you teach them how to make music, for instance, if you want to be musicians. Or you could be filmmakers. If you spend $5 million a year, you could bring out 10 very good directors every year. And these are people who could go and impact on the economy of the country. But you send somebody to Jerusalem on a pilgrimage, you spend $50,000 on him or her, No, I don't have to ask them because I know there's no return on investment. I mean, like, that money could be spent feeding the poor right there in Nigeria. You don't need to spend that money for somebody who's, well, of course, not everybody gets those privileges, So you have somebody being sent overseas for 3 weeks, maybe, to just hang around the Vatican and, and just go eat something. I mean, what are they getting there? Why do you have to go all that way, paid by government in the first way? Crazy, religion should be a personal thing. It is a personal thing.
If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewanfo. Thank you so much for listening and talk to you in the next episode.